The following program does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Let's ride, heading up 35. One way, we're headed at 90K. We'll over the two-lane causeway. We'll go left, it's gonna be a classy day. Kickstands down, head on over to the band stage. Kick back and listen to the band play. Whoa, whoa, let's take a ride today. Whoa, whoa, across the causeway. Rockin' day. Whoa, whoa, the classy chassis way.
Good evening and welcome to this House of Musicians with your host, singer, songwriter, and founder of the band, Inner City Outlaws, the Barrytown Bear, Barry Smith, right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email addresses are thisHouseofMusicians@gmail.com or instudio101@gmail.com.
Whoa, across the causeway.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your host of this House of Musicians, Barry Smith.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this House of Musicians on Reality Radio 101. We hope you enjoy the next hour with us as we do our small part to help promote venues, musicians, and bands. Gary, how are you?
Barry, I am fine. How are you?
You're sounding like you're very cheery tonight. I'm just as cheery.
I'm glad to hear it. You know, I'm living one day at a time and keeping my mind focused.
Well, let me just ask you, we haven't talked about it for a bit. How's the band doing? How's Walker's K doing?
We're doing very well in sales and promotions, but of course we are not playing live or any concerts or touring, so it's kind of boring, but and we're doing a lot of interviews still.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Well, you're not going to believe how I came across our guest tonight. His name is Steve Hickman, Gare, and I somehow, I don't know, thousands of musicians on my Facebook, and just clicked on a video one day, and here's this guy with overalls on, you know, the beard, playing original song that he wrote on his acoustic, and I'm like, this song is great. This guy is a good singer. Holy smokes. I got to look into this. So then I went to Spotify or some one of the music sites and looked them up, and wow, Gare, man, like this just incredible voice, incredible songwriter. So I'm excited to have Steve Hickman on the show tonight. Steve, how are you, brother?
Brother, I'm doing fantastic, man.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. You're down there in Indiana. Let's tell the folks where you are. You're in Indiana.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on tonight. I am from Indiana. I'm from the south side of Indianapolis, a town called Southport.
I love the accent, man. It's just too cool.
Well, my mama was from Kentucky. Her family was, and then the rest of us Hickman mongrels come right here from Indiana. But we got a good mix of folks in the family.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Let me ask you, talking about your mama, let me ask you, how did you get introduced to music when you were a kid or whatever? And what was it? Like, who did you hear first and went, wow, this is good? And then, how'd you get introduced to it?
Well, I would say I heard a lot of what my mother listened to, and that influenced me quite a bit, Barry. But I kind of picked up on what Granddaddy and some of the other men in my family listened to. My daddy wasn't around most of the time, so I had a lot of influences helping raise me. So I took on a lot of their music, and Grandpa listened to Tennessee Ernie Ford, and Hank Sr., and a lot of the real old ones, and some of the other folk I was around listened to Hank Jr. and Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash. So I took on early loving those legends and the music that they wrote, and took that on to myself as a youngster, along with gospel music, because that was what my mama was really into, and I just started singing with her and singing in church a little bit, and it grew into getting an acoustic guitar when I was about 10 years old, and from that point on, I started to writing songs, and ever since it's been an addiction, I guess you'd say.
No kidding, man. Well, I'll tell you what, you're real good at it, bud. 55 years old, been around the block a couple times, seen lots of bands and musicians, and man, you can tell, and I'm not saying that a lot of musicians don't sing or have their stuff from the heart. I'm sure a lot do, and that's where music comes from, but boy, you're the epitome of down home, family man, down home, writing your own songs right from the heart stuff, man. So I'm very impressed, Steve, with your stuff. So that's cool.
Man, thanks, Barry. And the whole reason why I got into writing and playing like this, really, there's a lot of fish out there and a lot of really, really good ones. So when you come down to the pool of music and looking at it as a success level, it's kind of a tough field to just dive off into.
Very hard.
But I came into it with more of a pure heart on it, honestly, and I just want to see real feel music thrive again, to where, when you listen to something, you're feeling it and it's speaking to you, and you're not just letting the rhythm take you, but you're letting the story and the words behind the song give you some guidance, or maybe lift you up when you're down, or you need to be able to feel it. That's the thing about music that we're missing the most, is the feeling.
Absolutely. Yep. No. And so now when you sit down and write a song, how do you go about doing it? Like, do you play something on a guitar first, or do you write lyrics down first and then put the guitar to it? Or, I think I've known you for, as far as Facebook goes, I've known you for maybe a month or two, and I'm sure I've seen every third day you coming out with writing a new song and singing it on your acoustic, buddy. And these songs are not lame. Like the way the words flow and stuff is just amazing. So I guess what I'm asking you then is, how do you what's your writing process?
Well, it can be kind of intermittent, I guess, or sometimes change a little bit. Every once in a while I get a hook or a catchphrase or a word or something that'll run through my head, and I'll think, hell, that'd be good in the song, and I'll take that, whatever it is, and if it sounds like to me it's part of a chorus, then I'll work on the chorus first and slap that in there and kind of get a feel for how the chorus goes, and then I can structure verses and instrumental parts around it. So sometimes it works like that. Sometimes I just have a melody and a feeling that go together, and next thing you know, I let my defenses down and open up the notepad and bust out a pen, and I just go with the flow. But I've always been given advice from people on writing songs, and I still don't have a number one by any means. So my advice isn't real strong for anybody, except for, I was told not to write about yourself, but I don't believe in that. I believe you got to, and I believe you're not the only one that walks the walk you're walking. So if you talk about your life and what you've seen and what you've been through and the lessons you learned, well, someone else is going to learn from it too, because the odds are there's plenty just like you that are going through the same kind of struggle. So,
absolutely, for sure, good point. Yep, that we're relating to other people for sure. But you do write a lot about, home, family, and stuff like that.
Yes, I like to write about real stuff, man, just things that you encounter on a day-to-day. I think you have to relate with a listener in order to get a listener to relate with you. So if you're going to, you're going to put out music, man, you really need the honesty. They say truth don't sell, but I think these days people are looking for something real.
Well, with what's going on in the world, for sure, man, they're looking for the real deal. Now, you said you got your first guitar when you were 10, brother. So was that your guitar, I mean, like when you first, and what were you learning? What were you listening to? What were you playing now? I guess I shouldn't expect you to remember that. Geez, I can barely remember.
No, I think I do remember, honestly.
Good for you.
See, my mom's passed away since about 5 years ago. My mother passed away. She was, to me, my rock. She was everything. She gave me guidance. She gave me an ass chewing when I needed it, and taught me a lot of really, 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 really great morals, man. And when I lost her, I felt like I lost everything. But it was her that bought the guitar for me when I was 10. It was a little Martin guitar, and I took that thing and was playing Third Day and some other, kind of Christian rock bands and stuff I was listening to back then. Mm-hmm. Learning to cover a few things off the radio I was hearing, and I taught myself to play by ear. I'm not real proud of my guitar skills. I'm just kind of sufficient to do what I do. But I learned how to play by ear. I learned how to sing by ear. I learned tone by singing with the legends over and over again when I was young. So,
of course, buddy.
So that was kind of my grindstone process, was listening to all those great songs and learning how to wail with the golden greats. And I have such a level of respect for them. A lot of their style show in my music just because that's what I fed on, I guess you'd say. Cut my teeth on.
Absolutely, buddy. No, that's great. And then, so you remember playing when you were younger. When was the first time you think you got up on a stage? Like, I bet you were nervous that first time, eh?
Yeah, actually, I think the first time was at Mom's church, and I think I sang a Ray Bolt song called Watch the Lamb. And hell, I was probably 8, 9 years old and got up and did that. And I remember my knees was probably beating off each other like drumsticks on a hard count. But I got through it and did pretty well. And the reaction from people was something I think started the feeding of liking that feeling of performing,
Yeah, absolutely. So then I guess you took the stage. How old were you when you, first got your first band and started playing? Well, let me ask you this first. How old were you when you wrote your first song?
Probably 10.
Wow.
Come to think of it, I'm trying to think what that song was called.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's been a long time since 10, but I started writing and messing around with it when I was 10 years old.
Nice. Buddy.
And then I got kind of sidetracked from it for years, and then I got married and had children, and I put it down for a while, maybe about 10, 12 years, and then picked it up again, and I haven't really slowed down since. So the last 6 years, we've been writing and singing like crazy.
Going hard at it, man. And that's the same with me. I put the guitar down. I got married, had a kid, put the guitar down for about 10 years, and it just all came full circle. Like in the last maybe 2 years now, I've got a pile of guitars here, and I'm fortunate enough to go into Sideman Studios when I write a song and record it. So I know what you mean by putting it down for a while, but it's cool that you always come back to it, right?
Oh, yeah. I think it's kind of hard. I just got done saying music is a calling the other day, and it just rings the phone off the hook till you pick it up.
That's a good way to say it. So you were doing lots of gigs then and stuff before this nasty COVID thing happened? You were out playing and having a good time playing and stuff?
Absolutely. It's been kind of tough to pick up some steam since I got started, and I have picked up a ton of fans off of Facebook and some of the other media outlets, and here locally for some of the joints that we played, and had a lot of good times with that. But yeah, it slowed down quite a bit, man. Just when we started to pick up steam, it got a little rough, but I had a lot of good fans and friends that helped me get through it personally. And we funded an album during this time, which is incredible and humbling. And it's the Backroom Lounge I told you about earlier with my friend Jeb Brown. He put his neck out for me and, you know, said, let's raise some money and get Hickman a good album out here. And people answered the call, man, and we raised money and we're able to get this album going. So COVID's been rough. It sure has. But even through that, we've still been blessed.
Good for you, man. You know what? I'm not the only one that believes in you, man, because I think you are a very talented guy. We got a couple emails, my friend. This one's from Jake W., and he says, hey, Barry, this guy sounds like the real deal. What an accent. How can he purchase some of your music?
That's a good question. We did have some stuff up on Spotify and iTunes, and we had some issues with that, and I had to pull the stuff down due to just some problems with access to all of it. So basically, I'm going to be restarting that. We're going to have our Spotify back and the iTunes. We got the new album coming out. By then, I'm hoping we'll have the old EP on there once again, which 2 songs you'll hear tonight are from that EP. They are available. I can send you guys some music, but you'll have to get with me on a personal level, maybe on Facebook, on Messenger or something like that. Hook up with me and I'll get you the information and I can send you out something. But here in the next few months, you'll be seeing a lot more popping up for purchase. We got merchandise, T-shirts, things like that nature that'll be coming up soon. But I've been way behind on that the last few years, and we're just now picking up steam and getting to the point where that'll be all made available on a daily basis to y'all.
Absolutely, buddy. There you go, Jake. Thanks for your email, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you wait, Jake, just keep searching for him, and there will be an album coming out soon, and I know you will not be disappointed. How about this email? This one's from, all right, let's see here. This is from Gail R. And Gail says, hey, Barry and crew, loving the show tonight. Great guest. Rock on. Here's another one. Thank you. Thank you for that, Gail. Here's one from John R. It's so good to hear an honest, humble musician. Most are egotistical a-holes. Love this guy. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I connected with, no, isn't he right, though? Steve, isn't he right?
Yeah, right. He is right. I mean, I've been around it. I know, man. And that's where I'm just trying to say that's where the future of music lies, with the humble heart, man, because I think that we're going to bring it back. You just can't care about the money, man. You got to care about the music more than you do the money. And when you do that, your soul shines through your music, bud. And I mean, that's, to me, the gift of music. Didn't really have a dollar sign on it.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you're like me, and you're in it for the money, then I got to get a paper route because, it's just so hard. And, it's so hard. And of course I don't write, I don't think I write as great songs as you, or geez, I don't even have close to your voice. No, man. So for me, definitely it's paper route or bust. So I have never, hey, Steve, this is how I was, my brother. I would do a gig. I played live for 10 years with a band. And come Sunday when it was time to get paid, I owed the bar money, brother.
Oh man, I still do that,
But it's fun, right? That's what it's about.
It is absolutely fun, man. Again, if you go into it with the right heart, you don't really get disappointed about the money. But yeah, man, if I had any advice to offer to a young musician, is don't get too starstruck, yet hit the grindstone and do yourself a favor and learn how to play a guitar like a riot and learn how to sing like you're coming unglued, because that's what it's going to take. And, I still haven't found my way there. I've been toiling with music my whole life, and I know many more men out there personally that are on a level that they should be on the radio every day, and they're not. So it's a sad situation, but in the same hand, not really. It's really good for the small crowd. It's really good for the small town. It's really good for the small pubs to have great talent available to play within their establishment and for their neighborhood gatherings, because that's where the real music's at. It's not in all these Hollywood studios. It's in the backwoods studios. It's with all the lowrider session players that don't really make the big scene. We did that for Moral Dilemma, Barry, my album. I was going to take this more of a Hollywood approach, and I changed my mind due to a good friend calling me up and saying, "Hey, Steve, remember what you said?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he says, you said you were going grassroots and going to glorify the musicians that deserve this. He was absolutely right. So that's what we did. We backpedaled. And I got a homegrown producer. I got homegrown musicians. And we're out to prove a point that you can make a great country album, a great rock album, a great blues album right here at home. And it's putting too much into the stars and not into the actual people that can help you get it done. And I couldn't be more proud, Barry. I'm telling you, wait till you hear the CD. My people came through for me in a way that I'll never be able to thank them enough. It's a beautiful album done by beautiful people.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? I'm proud for you, brother, because I don't even know one song on the album, but I've heard 3 or 4 or 5 of your other songs that you've had up there. And I was like, to my wife, check this out. So anyway, it's really good stuff, man. And I want everyone to check it out right now. So why don't we go ahead, Steve, and play a song that you wrote. And then I also want to talk to you about, brother, about the musicians and the sound that you have. It's beyond professional. It's just so good. But we'll talk about that too just a little later here. But why don't we go ahead, Steve, and let the listeners hear what you sound like and what your songwriting is like, because it's just fabulous. So what we're going to do then is we're going to play I Want to Be That Man, which is a song you wrote. We'll do a couple of shout-outs to our we'll hear a couple of shout-outs from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk about the song and where it came from and all, and that jazz. We'll talk about that jazz about the song. How does that sound? Good?
Yes, sounds real good, bud.
Good, man. I am so excited for people to hear this, bud, because I know that you have some great stuff going on. Folks, I have Steve Hickman on the show here with me tonight from Indiana. And right now you are going to listen to a song that he wrote called I Want to Be That Man on this House of Musicians radio show on Reality Radio 101.
I'm 35 years old. You think by now I know all this running around is gonna bring me down. I wanna try some new things and listen to the birds sing and see the rest of my life through a sober man's eyes. God help me see what's right in front of me. I wanna be that man she can't live without. I wanna be the one who erases all her doubts. I wanna be the dad that any kid would want and teach him the simple things in life, like how to fish, how to hunt. I wanna be that man. Oh, I wanna be that man. Lord, I've had my share of the devil's snare. Whiskey had me down for the count. I've danced away with Mary, and saying goodbye scares me. But I know it's time to let her fly. So God help me see what's right in front of me. I wanna be that man she can't live without. I wanna be the one erases all her doubts. I wanna be the dad any kid would want, and teach him the simple things in life, like how to fish and how to hunt. I wanna be that man. Oh, I wanna be that man. God, take what's left of me, help me shape a legacy. Maybe this old boy can still do some good. Yeah, I ain't been working out my way this crooked path down the interstate. I think it's time I take another road. So God help me see, it's right in front of me. I wanna be that man she can't live without. I wanna be the one who erases all her doubts. I wanna be the dad that any kid would want, and teach him the simple things in life, like how to fish and how to hunt. I wanna be that man. God, I wanna be that man.
Hey, welcome back, folks. We just listened to Steve Hickman's song that he wrote called I Want to Be That Man. Now, here's something I don't usually do during the show. Gary, here's a guy playing his acoustic in his overalls, a down-home country dude that I watch on Facebook. He happened to record a couple of songs, brother, and that was one of them. I Want to Be That Man, Gary.
Yeah, for sure, and I was blown away.
Yeah, the vocals, the writing.
Well, when you're writing, as you know, most musicians, even the demos we get and everything, they overplay, overdub way too much. And this is down, the musicianship in this is phenomenal. It's tight, it's right. The drums kick and the bass is right on. The vocals are there, good mix, good production. I don't understand why a label hasn't shown some type of interest in him, to be honest with you. And I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up his rear end. I mean,
oh, thanks.
If you think about it, Steve, there's literally hundreds of thousands of artists out there, and especially country being the most diverse and probably the most popular music still in the world. And a lot of these musicians have something, but they just don't cut it. It's just not commercial enough. It doesn't tell a story. Sure. And it's not right. And if I owned a label, I'd be signing you. I'd be flying down there tomorrow and having you sign something.
Oh, brother, thank you, man. I really do work hard at it, and I appreciate it. That makes me feel good. And I've had a few opportunities, guys, for some investors and some other things, but I'm not fit for artist development, and I think that's the biggest problem, is that they want you to go in and learn how to jump through hoops and wear this and do your hair like that, and I get all that, I truly do. But for some of those guys, that's just not what we're about, and it's hard to accept that. So I've turned down some things recently that most people probably would have been very excited to be a part of, and I couldn't be, because I'm not in it to change. I'm in it to keep doing the same. And that's the truth and feeling in music. So
you're right about that. Barry, can I interrupt you for a minute?
Absolutely, bud.
Steve, as a guy who has been on a major label in the early 80s and early 90s, we had to go through that same thing. But I'm going to tell you something. Please take my advice or not. It's all about making money for the big guys, the guys that sign you, the labels, the independent labels. And if they can't make money with you, then you're nobody to them, even though you're somebody to somebody. The bottom line is, sometimes, we're doing this for the love of music and the musicians that you work with and your fans. But to get it out there even further and to make a living, sometimes you got to kiss some ass. And here's the beauty of that. Once you kiss the ass and you get that millions and millions of people following you, you write your own ticket then. You don't have to have the hair. You don't have to lose the weight. You can go out and look like a slob. You can play what you want.
Yeah.
But initially, for the first couple of years, you sign a contract, so you do what they want. And then once that contract is up, you're a free man and you got reign over the world. So it's just a little advice.
And you know what? Can I just chime in here? I just don't think he needs to do anything. If a label doesn't pick him up and see him for what it is, then it's just absolutely not worth it. And it's going to happen. He just has to be himself, Gare. But I know what you're saying too. What you guys are saying that, and Steve, you said you've been offered some stuff, but you're not going to wear Dwight Yoakam outfits. I get that.
Well, brother, I mean, if you look at today's market, there are people that look all kinds of different ways, and
that's right.
I mean, you got people that are just way out there with their outlandish looks, and you got people there that just don't even look like a star at all, but they're still there. So, I'm a firm believer, man, fellas, that if you grind that sword until it is sharp, that you can shave with it. It really doesn't matter what label wants to sign you. It matters how many people can see you. So as an entrepreneur in this age of music, I just feel like you have to invest in yourself and you have to get eyes on you and you have to learn how to dance past the big hand. And I'm happy with just a little, fellas. So for me, I'm achieving what I'm setting out to achieve. It's just, slow going to get it. You definitely a patient path.
You know what? You're going to do well, man. You're going to do well. It's just, there's just no way about it. I just think that you're a great songwriter. Now, here's an email from Joy Fee, and she says, as your producer stated, why isn't this guy signed? The vocals, melody, and musicianship is amazing. Oh, my God. Thank you, Joyce, for that email, because
nice. Thank you.
Steve you have a special spot in my heart, man, and that's just from you playing raw acoustic with your vocals on Facebook, and no studio stuff, no machines, nothing, just you sitting there on your back porch playing a song. Look, hey, this is a new song I wrote, and you sit there and play it, man. You got it, buddy. Let's go back and talk about I Want to Be That Man. Now, I want to know how you came up with writing that song, and where it came from.
Well, that song's kind of a double-edged sword, too, Barry, because I'm going through a lot of personal strife in my life right now. Part of that has to do with my marriage, bud. But I will have to tell you straight up that that song was written from a stance that I know that I've rambled down this road hard in my life, especially in my younger years. And that song kind of derived from needing to become a better man, to be raising kids and be a husband and a father, basically. It was about that conversion from a little boy into a man. And we all find it difficult. When, I got married at 20 and we had kids together, our first child then, So for me, I was raised in a family where if we had gotten a woman pregnant, we're going to get married. And you take care of your responsibilities. And I did. And it's just been a long ride, and everybody, their walk's different. So none of our paths really are the same. I think life goes on in a straight line, and we all split off on the side trails now and again, but the crossroads are there. So that's kind of life in my perspective, and that's what this song's about. It's about when you come to those crossroads, what are you doing? And I'm still answering the same questions that are in that song. And it's heavy because it's real. And I think a lot of people feel that way. Even that woman, I want to be that woman. It doesn't have to be that man. Mm-hmm. We all want to be who we need to be for that other person or for your children. So it's a struggle. It's a battle.
Absolutely. Well, what a great song there, buddy. Very impressive.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Buddy.
Yeah. So so now is the new album coming out? Is it going to, how far along are you on it?
We are I'm going to put maybe an 85% number on there. We're almost around the corner now. I think we'll be in mastering by next week. After mastering, which should take us maybe another week, should have it off to print. And I'm hoping that early October, I've got a great product to share with the world.
Well, you definitely will, my friend. Like I was saying during the break to you, if I don't have to hear the album to know it's going to be good, I would tell people, go check this out right now. Let's talk about some of the musicians. I mean, the sound that you have of the last song we just listened to, the studio that you did it at, some of the musicians. Let's mention some names who were on it, because damn, that was good stuff, man.
Well, that CD was actually done by a good friend of mine named Dave Fowler down in Nashville. Dave is a fantastic bass player and a producer. I'm trying to think here without crashing the train of thought. James Mitchell, which has played on a lot of people's albums. I believe he played In Color for Jamie Johnson. I believe.
Okay.
I hope.
Beautiful song.
But he played on these tracks. There were 6 of them we did. My brother-in-law, Joe Ferguson, that helped me get in touch with Dave Fowler, and we went down there and made that EP with him. And 6 songs that basically are the start of things for me. And we went with a different direction for the new album, Barry. Moral Dilemma is going to be a much grassroots, seedier version of me, which is what I wanted, because I feel like when people hear this album, they can in turn come to a show and it still sounds like me. So no matter what musicians I bring, it's going to be a close variation to what they get on the album. So I like to play with a lot of musicians. You mentioned some of the people involved. Well, the people involved in this one are local heroes of mine. And we got Barry Elkins, a guy that plays a mandolin, just completely amazing. Joe Bollinger plays the banjo on here, and he's another guy that just basically knows just what to play on a banjo to be most effective. And I couldn't be more impressed with him. And Derek Day, one of my great friends, he's co-producing this album with me. And we spent a lot of time. He has spent a major amount of time in there putting this stuff together, and want to thank Derek. Derek's an amazing man and a great friend and a hell of a producer. So I think he's going to blow a lot of people away with what he helped throw together here. And, yeah, man, that's just the whole key to this album. It's called Moral Dilemma, and our world's in a moral dilemma, and it's scary for people. And this album's bringing all the feelings, and it's bringing hope. And it's bringing a story of a man's life that has worked his whole life, and that it's my story. And it ties together with all of that, with what we're going through, with where we've been, and where we need to go. So it gives you the joy. It gives you the old bouncing knee, and it'll give you a tear or two probably by the end of it. 16 songs from my life.
Beautiful. And you talked about I lost my train of thought here. Sorry. Yeah, man. Why don't we look at an email here, since I don't know what the heck I'm doing? I lost my train of thought. It was something you just said that I was going to reflect on. But anyway, here is an email from Greg E. Steve, and he says, hello. I love Steve's work. Seems like such a great guy as well. So glad you are sharing tonight. Thanks. And Greg is from Windsor, Ontario. And that's, Windsor's kind of not too far from here, but.
Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And here's one from, hey, I'm happy. I talked to your manager, Sandra. I think she's your manager, right? Yeah. I talked to her. Mm-hmm. She sent me a message a couple days ago, and she said, so she's taking care of you right now, brother, because she said you can find Steve's music via Facebook on Steve Hickman original page or Hickstick fan page and YouTube. And this is your promoter. Yep, that's Sandra, your promoter.
Sandra is phenomenal.
Yeah, let's talk about Sandra, brother.
Let's do it. Sandra's the owner of De La Flor Promotions. I can't even pronounce it right. I got false teeth now, Barry. That's something else we're going to talk about soon. Hold that thought.
And you're sipping a moonshine. It's okay.
Yeah, so it makes it extra hard. Yeah, but it's Sandra De La Parra of De La Parra Promotions, and she's amazing. She helps a lot of artists attain new levels, man, and she just has a way of getting people there when you need them there. So for these live feeds and for booking for me and some other things, you know, she's just been real amazing and helping me to see the talent levels that I have and to hang on to it. There'd been a time or two where I was ready to hang it up, and Sandra's a big part of the reason why I didn't. And I want to thank her for that. You know, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be making this album right now. I'd just be done with it. So Sandra has been implemental in my career as a musician and songwriter for sure. So I appreciate her, and I would encourage that people want to find someone that can help them increase their baseline audience and start to grow as a musician. She's a good person to get with.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for the email, Sandra. You're do a great job for this guy for sure. Here's one from Larry B. Steve. He says, "Hello, what an amazing artist. No BS. This guy is so talented and excellent. This is no cover artist, and Nashville, look out." Amazing.
Yeah, I would like to hear that.
That's from Larry. Well, we're getting a lot of emails, which is not normal here, but here's one that says, "Geez," and I know people are going to feel this way too, the same way I feel. So, hey Barry, hey Steve, thanks for the music. What talent, what a song. This guy's incredible. Good luck. That's from Clyde.
Well, thank you, Clyde. That's awesome, friend. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. So listen, we're running out of time. We got 15 minutes left. Why don't we play the next song? Because I want to sneak in a sneak preview of a song that's going to be off the album, but that'll come just near the end of the show. Why don't we, for now, play a song? This is another song you wrote, Steve, called Long Shot.
Yep, man, and this song was written just plainly because I've been a long shot since the day I was born, and there's a thrill in that too. You got to be able to have something to chase down. In my book, keeps you active. So this song's just about being a long shot and how you can't never really count us out.
Absolutely, bud. And now this was on one of the CD that you did before, right?
Yes, this is another that Dave Fowler produced.
Nice. Cool. Okay, folks, I have Steve Hickman on the show. Man, this guy is something else. I want you to hear another one of his songs. This song's called Long Shot, again, written by Steve Hickman. He's from Indiana. He's in Indiana. Again, the song's called Long Shot, right here on this House of Musicians radio show. On Reality Radio 101.
Underdog at the back of the pack, that's just how I roll. I've been a long shot all my life, yeah, it's all I know. Well, you can't stop my will to win, it's bellowing from my soul. Well, I ain't got nothing left to lose, I'm all in, here I go. Well, you can bet on me, I won't let you down. Yeah, you can take it to the bank, I won't quit till I'm crowned. Yeah, I'm the long shot, and you best not count me out. 'cause this fire in my belly could burn this whole place down. Lo and behold, I've been down at the bottom. I couldn't see to the top. No, not a soul around to hear me. No one with a rope to drop. I stood there on my feet and screamed, God, why have you left me to die? He said, son, it was you that walked away. I've never left your side. Well, you can bet on me, I won't let you down. Yeah, you can take it to the bank, I won't quit till I'm crowned. Yeah, I'm the long shot, and you best not count me out. 'Cause this fire in my belly is gonna burn this whole place down. You can't put this fire out, it stays hungry. Yeah, it's fueled by the salt of doubt, I gotta say it bluntly. Yeah, I'm the long shot. All right.
Hey, welcome back, folks. We have Steve Hickman on the show, and man, you just heard one of his original songs, and what a great song. It's called Long Shot. Steve, let's talk about Long Shot for a bit.
Yeah, Long Shot was, I don't know, I wrote that one early when I came back. I'd say it wasn't too long after the whole I Want to Be That Man session there. So, yeah, man, Long Shot's just about, seems like everything I've ever done, I was told I couldn't make it or not good enough or wouldn't be able to do it or not enough hard or, you know, all the excuses that you get along the way. So Long Shot's just kind of a way of saying that's the thing about being a long shot is we probably got more heart than most realize, you know.
Absolutely, buddy. What a great song. We're going to talk about for a little bit here. Before I want to do this, I want to give everybody a sneak preview of what your next, a song that's going to be on the next album, 16-song album that you got coming out called Moral Dilemma. So let's talk about that album and how much time you spent on that so far.
We've been in studio since early July. Yeah, I haven't spent a whole lot of time. It's been actually a blessing. Everybody that's come to play in this album got the idea. A few of them probably come in a little bit nervous, thinking there was some kind of an expectation, and I would tell them, hey, what I need from you is your feeling on this song. I don't need a specific roadmap lick here. I need feeling. So that's what they showed up and did, and I was just blown away by it, Barry. I think Moral Dilemma is going to be special mainly because of that, and that it has its own feel. It's got a lot of really great songs on it. We mixed it up good. I got one on there called "Pardon Me" that I wrote with Kim Tatum, and that song's about the old. This is for a picture painting purposes. The old man stumbles upon the youngsters hanging out drinking White Claws and partying, and he walks in with his moonshine jar and kind of just says, "Step aside, young man, let me tell you something." So it's kind of got a new sound to it. I don't think you can nail it down too much, but it's got a little bit of country ska in there, a little bounce to it. So it's definitely going to be a cool song to get out there and see how people react to it. We got Bad SOB on there, speaks of the life of a working man. I got a lot of trouble from people out there that like to mess with me when I was first coming on. That song I wrote for them. You know, they sit back and judge you an awful lot and don't know what you go through. So Bad SOB is a song kind of about that. The title track, Moral Dilemma, is stuff that my grandpa had taught me and things that I learned growing up that I felt like as a man you should do. So that song's kind of rooted in morals.
Absolutely, and we're excited for the album to come out. So why don't we right away play a song, or not the whole song, but we're going to give people a sneak preview right now of a song that's going to be on your album called Moral Dilemma. This song is called The Real Ones, and you are listening to Steve Hickman on this House of Musicians radio show on Reality Radio 101, folks.
I like the real thing. The ones I like best are the ones that are real. The warrior poet, Billy Don Burns. Long live this legend. You the man, brother.
Hey, we're back. Now, there's a little sneak preview of The Real Ones. Let's talk about that real quick, and we'll talk about when you think your album is going to come out.
Okay, well, that song right there is actually and the only song on the album that isn't produced by myself and Mr. Derek Day. And it was produced by Beverly Gosden Jenkins and Buddy Hyatt at Starstruck Studios, and we raised funds to get that song recorded a while back, and we're going to include it on this album because it's all about Billy Don Burns, and I wanted to honor my friend Jeb Brown by putting the song we wrote together on my first album. So that song's a little different than the rest of the album. The rest of the album's going to be a puddle jumper, man. You just don't know what you're going to get until you get Moral Dilemma.
Absolutely, man. Well, Steve, what can I say? We're excited to hear the album. I'm sure you're going to let me know right away when it comes out.
Absolutely, Barry.
And I'm going to plug the hell out of it. Steve, we absolutely adore you, man. You're a great songwriter. You have a great voice, and it was been an honor to have you on the show, man.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you having me, and thank you for the belief you have in me. That means a lot to me. I'm sorry about the chattering locusts that came along with me tonight.
But I know I was asking you what the squeak was, and you're saying it's locusts in your backyard. Holy smokes, they got to be big, brother.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just think it's that time of season here. They don't know when to shut up. I'm going to take it up with them when we get off the phone.
With a can of Raid, eh? There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, again, man, what an honor to have you. I'm going to keep following you. I love your music, guys. So look forward to riding my motorcycle and listening to your new album when we're out riding around and stuff. Thanks for being here, brother.
Well, thank you, buddy. That was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for all the nice comments on the emails as well. I appreciate it, friend.
Awesome, buddy. And to the listener, I say thank you for being here. and always dance and sing, and let your music bring your soul to the surface for all the world to see. Until next time, have a shuffle your feet kind of week, and good night. You've been listening to this House of Musicians radio show on Reality Radio 101.